All right, hi everyone, and thank you for joining us tonight. So I'm here with Rachel Bean, who is a RVN nurse, RV nurse. Off to a great start here. Rachel, can you tell us a wee bit about your background and what it is you do?
Yeah, sure. RVN means Registered Veterinary Nurse. So that means I'm registered with the Royal College of Veterinary Surgeons. I qualified back in, it actually started before that. I worked for the Dogs Trust, one of the Dogs Trust kennels in the North East. I was assistant kennel manager between 1994 and 1996. So that was general running of the kennels. It was 140 capacity kennels. So I left there after 2 years just to qualify as a veterinary nurse. Really, I like the medical side. You know, I'm going with the vet. I'm going with the vet. I'll pick the dogs up from the vet and all that kind of thing. So I just pursued that. So the North East, which is one of the branches that I worked at the Dogs Trust, I just applied within a 100-mile radius, and that brought me down to the Manchester area. So there's plenty of work. So I've been down this area since, really. So I went into practice 96, and then I had to wait about 18 months to get a training place, because they are, even back then, 25 years ago, the places were pretty difficult to get hold of, and they're even more difficult now. So a couple of years training, so I had to wait, and so by the time I got qualified and on the register, it was 2001, just going into 2002. So I've been in practice really since 1996, but involved since 1994. Yeah.
So you're pretty experienced then, aren't you?
Pretty much seen everything over and over again.
Yeah. Has it changed much since then, Rachel? Or
the drugs are slightly different, prices are different. Things are a lot more expensive now. And what we can do as well, when you get into specialist stuff, it's amazing. I work in first opinion, which is like your GP equivalent, really. But we refer a lot of stuff now. Specialist stuff. That's definitely what's changed. Is the specialist. The orthopedics are amazing. Any soft tissue surgery is amazing. Medicine's amazing. Just I guess like human medicine, really. Advances. So yeah.
I suppose it could be worse. It could be going downhill, I suppose. No. So in terms of dog grooming, Rachel, so the way it is usually set up for us is that we're getting taught it as part of our kind of training curriculum, but we're getting taught it by people in the grooming industry rather than the actual, like people in the veterinary practices. So can you tell us like a bit about what we should be looking out for in terms of starting a career in dog grooming? Is it just the same getting the tuition through the grooming courses, or should we be looking at a more professional, more qualified person?
I think so. I think because if you're dealing with somebody's pet day in, day out, a handful of dogs a day, and if you're working within a bigger salon, then you've got more dogs. You're in a higher percentage margin of something happening. And you have to be able to think on the spot. So whoever's training you, I think, for this level, has to have actually experienced what a collapsed dog looks like, what CPR is, how to do it, etc. That for me, they have to have done it in real life.
Yeah.
There are a couple of grooming schools that do have, people that have from a veterinary background, but it's very few and far between. I think anybody that's, running a doggy daycares, grooming, anything like that, dog walkers, dog sitters, overnight boarders, they should get that next level. I'm trying to encourage people that are working professionally with dogs not to just do it as a tick box. Think, get that done. An online quick tick box. Yeah, I'm qualified. I'd love to question those people and say, right, there's a collapsed dog, tell me what to do. And that's what my classes bring, is that, urgency. Right, there you go. Just bring that little bit of,
I think
so when it does happen, then you're prepared for that.
That's
it. You can act like that,
Yeah. I think I had a few disagreements a few weeks ago about that, because I'll be completely honest, I said that to you before, if I was put in that situation, I would panic. I wouldn't have a clue what to do. There's barely anything about my course I remember. And it literally is a ticked box. It's just a certificate up there that means nothing. But the scary thing is it's giving guardians that peace of mind that it's okay because she knows what she's doing, when really I don't think that 3 years is I don't think 3 years is a good approach to it either. I think we should be doing it more regularly than that. Just
even if just recapping the dire emergencies like the collapse and the anaphylaxis, all that kind of thing, which happened suddenly,
Yeah, and what would you say would be the most kind of common injuries and things to happen in the grooming environment? Because you're saying a collapse, for example, could that be a dog overheating, like due to
overheating, if anybody's seen and I'll put the link on, I do have a really good heat stroke video that I mean, it's about 4 years old now, but every time it's warmer, I put it back out again. And that actually was a grooming situation. It's a Westie that was 13-year-old, got stressed at the vets anyway, but the groomers then put him in a drying cabinet and he overheated and he nearly lost his life. And the owner gave me permission to document it and put a little video out for training purposes. So that was a heat stroke from a grooming situation. And the groomers were like really casual about it, oh, your dog's not.
Are they still operating?
Pardon?
Are they still operating?
Yeah. They paid the bill, but but it was just lack of knowledge. It wasn't that they did it deliberately and didn't care. It was just that they didn't recognise the signs of heat stroke. And I think the other one as well is breed issues. If you've got a Cavalier King Charles, you want to know its clinical records. If it's got a grade 3, grade 4 heart murmur, you want to know when you've got it on the table and it's getting a little bit stressed or a little bit hot or a little bit worked up or excited.
And these are maybe things that guardians aren't thinking about to make us aware of, but it should be something that we should know to ask for.
I don't think it is always up to the owners to say that, and then sometimes don't think to say that. I always say about daycare as well. I say if you've got a Cavalier running around all day, you need to know its medical records. So I do go into a bit deeper.
So could you share that link then to that video underneath, or even share it on a separate post for us? That's really interesting. Oh my god, I can't even imagine how that would feel, to be honest. But it is something that you have to be aware of, obviously.
I'm already sort of teaching quite a lot of groomers, and the way that I teach is around a table so we can all chat. And actually, the stories that come out, what happened to me? I had a dog collapse 2 weeks ago, or I had a dog that the owner took it back to the car and it escaped and ran in the road. And that owner is not going to pick that dog up and run to the co-op next door. That person's going to run back into the groomers with a dog that's been hit by a car. It's all these eventualities.
Oh my goodness. And also another one is epilepsy, which is quite common as well with dogs. A lot of dogs actually. So it's
if you've not seen it before, it's frightening. It's scary. You don't know.
And it's known how to kind of darken the room and things like that people maybe don't think of.
Move at the dogs,
So in terms of getting training for your pet first aid, how would we know how qualified a person is? Would we just have to ask then for what would we be looking for?
I always try and encourage people to ask the tutor's experience in the veterinary industry. What I'm not saying is I don't want to completely rule out people that have had veterinary experience, but somebody that's registered with the Royal College, either a vet or a veterinary nurse, and there is a handful of us in the UK teaching, that's going to be your best. But that doesn't mean to say that vet or that vet nurse is necessarily a good teacher. You have to have the both together, is the knowledge and the background, and be able to follow through with questions and what have you with the information, real information, paired with a good teacher. The teacher's got to be able to impart the knowledge, not just stand there, like a rabbit in the headlights teaching. You've got to know your stuff. Because the amount of questions that get asked And I always throw it open. I say you can ask me anything you want, and I will answer. Yeah. I know a lot of courses where they'll say if they get any veterinary question, they'll make a note of it and then say, okay, I'll consult a vet and I'll email you the answer.
Yeah, that should be kind of warning sign then that maybe you should be looking elsewhere for someone to teach you.
Yeah.
Because when we did
I think with anything, it's just ask the background. You know, if I was booking a dog trainer or a behaviourist or anything like that, I mean, I do a little bit of that, but I'd want to know, you know, if I'm booking or referring to somebody with a separation anxiety problem, I'd want to know that what's your experience with separation anxiety. I don't want to send a dog to someone that has no experience with separation anxiety. You know, same really. Yeah. I think dealing with trauma, you know, the same with humans. I'm sure, you know, you have to have a certain mentality to be able to deal with repetitive trauma. And what I did was 5 years ago, I pushed myself sort of out of my comfort zone really and started volunteering in Thailand and India. Got some really good friends working in shelters over there, so that pushed me. You know, we were dealing with 15 road traffic accidents a day, you know, so the more you get it repeated, the more you can deal with those trauma situations.
So in terms of even, see, for groomers establishing a kind of relationship with local vets as well, that would be worthwhile, wouldn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
So how would you go about doing that as well? Like, obviously, if there was such a thing as an injury, it's never happened to me yet. I've always thought about it, and you know, it's the kind of concern of, well, what if you can't get access to someone quickly? You know, so is it worthwhile then going into vets and actually making yourself known and having that there to?
Yeah, definitely. And the other thing as well, at the other end, the client has got to give permission for the groomer to, if something happens, is to go to any vet. Because, you know, there's the data protection. You can't, as a groomer, if something happens, you can't walk into a vet unless it's a dire emergency. You know, if it was a bleeding ear or something, it needs sort of treatment straight away, but not an emergency. You know, the vet will not do it without the owner's permission. So, you know, you've got to do all the
you'd have that sign.
Yeah.
Okay. There was one of our members asked us, Hazel, I think it was, about online courses. Are they reputable? I mean, are there options where you can do your refresher online, or is it kind of more better?
I mean, because of COVID, I mean, I have converted my course to an online as best I can, but it needs to be finished actually. That would, for me, is not a qualification, because how do you know people are just not skipping the pages? I want to see people physically with the resource dummy and put them through and see them do it. And that takes a little bit of nerve. You know, I do help people, see people nervous, I'll help them. But you've got to go through that little bit of stress to learn anything new like that. If you're just watching CPR online, I've seen it before, I have seen it on YouTube, skip to the next page. You've not gone through that emotion of stood above a resource dog, and I'm saying to you, right, this dog, it's a Cocker Spaniel, it's been hit by a car, it's just that pressure, you know. So if you take somebody to that little bit of pressure, when it really does happen for real, they're kind of a little bit prepared emotionally. But just in the pages on online, for me, I mean, if you've got pet owners and what have you, then, you know, online's fine, it's extra information. But if you're doing it professionally, then I think you have to be physically in a class and bandaging as well, you know.
Tell us a wee bit more about your online course then that you mentioned. I had put up a link to the one with your paw pads and your paw care. It's great. But what's the one you're talking about?
Yeah, I mean, it's a similar format to the paw pad one. I mean, the paw pad one is actually a section taken from the big one, and it's in that format. It's fairly simple, straightforward. But what I've done, I'm using real pictures, real photographs, and real video footage as well. So I've got like about how to see a dog's in pain. I've got about 8 to 10 videos of dogs in pain. Now, these dogs are not, you know, sat there yelping. I'm not doing cruel video. It's just very subtle signs of pain, how to recognise pain, you know, squinted faces and that kind of thing. So the real cases, I mean, a couple of courses that I've looked at, although very informative, I've actually not got real footage on, and that's what I've collected collected over the years, really, with owners' permission for education purposes. Yeah, so hopefully people see it slightly different to the average online course. Yeah, it's more real.
It's definitely missing, isn't it? Especially in our industry where we are working with dogs in such intense circumstances, and sometimes, you know, an aggressive outburst isn't actually anything other than the fact the dog's in pain, and we're not picking up on that, and we could potentially be hurting them. Or so that's definitely a course I think every groomer should be taking. Again, once it's up and running, can you post that on?
Yeah. I mean, it should have been finished quite a while ago actually, but I was kind of hauled back into practice full time because of COVID. So yeah, so it's not on the back boiler, but all I've got to finish now is some of the videos of me and some of the practicals. Yeah, so that's all it needs finishing really. But they're pretty much, I'd probably say 95% of it's done. Yeah.
Ooh, that's exciting. No, I'm definitely signing up to it. Another person, I think, was it Emma or was it Lizzie? Lizzie has asked about anal glands and ear plucking and the debate with that. So what's your thoughts on groomers obviously doing the anal glands and the plucking?
Yeah, I mean, I did about 4 years back. I mean, I was kept getting asked at, again, my first aid workshops. And so what I did was I actually emailed the Royal College and got their stance on it. And I got a reply saying basically it is a Schedule 3 procedure. That means that only either a veterinary surgeon, a qualified veterinary nurse, or a veterinary nurse in training under supervision of a veterinary nurse can do them.
Okay.
So it was brought up again about 6 months back, and we were kind of discussing it on some forum, I can't remember, and somebody said, which threw the spanner in the works for me a little bit, was that, well, my insurance company cover me for doing anal glands. And I was like, oh, okay, all right, I appreciate that. What you need to probably do is look at the conditions of that, the small print of that, because I think for that to be insured to do them, there's certain stipulations, and I think is that you have to be trained by a vet per client. So if, I don't know, Max Smith comes in with an anal gland problem, or the owner mentions an anal gland problem, the groomer has to liaise with the vet for that particular dog, that case, and the vet has to give permission for them to enter the anal glands, and that person has to be trained by that vet and have like confirmation. Hello, confirmation. Confirmation that they've been trained by a vet, and I think if that's not in place, then it invalidates the insurance. The problem with anal glands is that there can be problems.
Yeah,
there can be tumours, they can be infected, you can rupture them very easily, and I think the people that are still doing them are probably been grooming for years, and I understand, you know, that it's probably a little bit frustrating that they're probably well able to do them, but the law has changed and it's made it where you cannot do it, and the ears as well. I mean, I'm not allowed to do it. If my neighbour came over and said, oh, can you look at these anal glands for my dog? I can't, because I'm not in veterinary, I'm not in the building, I'm not under veterinary supervision. Therefore, me as a qualified veterinary nurse would be doing it illegally. You know, there's a Schedule 3 procedure. Yeah, it's breaching the Veterinary Surgeons Act. So it's just not worth it. It's just not worth it doing it. Things change, you know. I mean, 10 years ago, maybe longer now, you know, veterinary nurses were allowed to castrate cats. I'm very adept at castrating a cat, but I'm not allowed now. It doesn't mean I continue to do it. It means I'm not allowed to do it. Therefore, I don't do it. Yeah.
And there must be reasons why that is as well. I mean, just disacknowledge that. I would never attempt to do an anal gland anyway. To be honest, it's not something that appeals to me. We don't get paid enough for it anyway. So it's not for me. Let's see if there's any other.
I mean, as I say, I'm back in practice now, so I've done 5 today. So, you know, nurses are well rehearsed in doing it. But we've got a vet in the next room if we think there's a problem with them, rather than just saying, "Oh, I'll just do it," and rupture one, you know. Yeah.
It's different for the likes of pets at home who are usually kind of situated right next door to the vets as well. So I suppose those groomers are better, you know, equipped to do it. In terms of nail health, Rachel, how do we go about, because there is massive concern with clipping nails in the grooming industry, I think in every industry to be fair, of the fear of cutting into the quick.
Yeah.
So how would you recommend you do it safely?
Yes, I think with the black ones it's difficult because you can't see the quick. So I think lots of practice on the white nails, the ones where you can actually see the quick. And again, on that paw and pad freebie that I did the course, there was a little video of me sort of nibbling away, doing a Rottweiler's nails, you know, shortening them. It is just practice. It is practice. And just taking, it's better to take less off than too much, because actually, and it's learning the breeds as well, you know, like Dachshund's nails can be very long, and the quicks can be very long compared to a Jack Russell, or it's learning breed types as well. And older dogs, the quicks are longer. How long have they had the long nails, or that kind of thing. But
how would we go about educating ourselves on that then, Rachel? Because obviously you're saying that as per breed as well, it's dependent. So is there anywhere we can learn about that, or is that just years of experience?
I don't think, you know, to be honest, I don't think there is any, you know, anything written or videos or anything like that. That's why I've started to do a few videos, and hopefully that'll infiltrate through. I mean, it's all right, you know, experienced groomers saying, oh, you just do it like this, but there's, you know, there's that big gap between people that are just starting out and the people that have done it for ages. It's unfair, really. It's nerve-wracking. I understand that for people that have not done it very often. And sometimes people just go in bravado, yeah, bleeding, yeah.
Actually, one of the points I got off for my exam was because I hadn't taken the nails short enough in the dog that I was working on, and it was that was my outlook to it. I would rather take less and not cut the quick, and us not give the dog a bad experience and take too much and then hurt the dog. But I was quite angry at that, because I felt like obviously less is more in that situation if you're not entirely confident. And obviously, as you say, as your experience grows, then your confidence also does too. So you definitely think then less is more when you're kind of starting out. Emma is asking about, obviously with the likes of free work and COVID-19 and disinfecting and things, is it maybe worthwhile coming away from your kind of sniffaries and things like that right now because of the kind of risk of germs and stuff? Or is that just kind of something that's there forever no matter what, you know, COVID?
Yeah, I mean, I think we should be doing that anyway between dogs, is the disinfecting and what have you. Just make sure that you've got the correct disinfectant, and I'm sure kind of DEFRA and those type of organisations can give you the right guidelines.
See, in terms of your refresher and things, how often do you think a person should be refreshing their first aid?
Definitely 2 years, I think.
2 years, yeah. And it all depends, I suppose, on the quality of the training, like you say, as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm trying to see if there's any other questions here. Everyone started asking questions like the last 5 minutes before we started recording. I was like, we were going to put together a list of training facilities, weren't we, where we could go, maybe as per region or whatever, where we could maybe look at reputable courses for first aid. So could we do that? Yeah, could we kind of look and see where and it means then everyone's got a kind of idea of where they can go for kind of good quality training.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
And that's basically, I think that's all the questions, to be honest.
I mean, I mentioned it to you earlier. I mean, I've just signed on the dotted line, so it's early days for being a course provider for Ofqual now. So that's through the Pet Network, which is a fairly new organisation. The Four Paws Grooming School, which is based in Cheshire. I mean, I've been tutoring for them for about 2 years, 2.5, 3 years. But now they've actually got a standalone Ofqual, and I'm going to be one of the first tutors for them. I think we're going to have a network of tutors, but that's a level 3 Ofqual qualification, which is different to the certification, which was what we were doing before. This has been replaced now. So literally it was yesterday I've signed on the dotted line. So we've just got to go through all the paperwork and what have you. So that actually is a biggie.
Okay, so how long do you think that will be?
Yeah. I'm not sure. I've got to have a Zoom meeting next week, and yeah, I mean, when we're going to be teaching, I don't know because of COVID. You know, you've got to be.
But in the meantime, we can all just sign on to your online courses. And just
yeah. Knowing that I'm going to put a video on there. I'm going to do quite a lot of interactive videos, a bit like this, and say, look, this is not a qualification. If you're a dog groomer, if you're a dog daycare staff or whatever, this is not a replacement. This is just top up. It's just to help. It's extra knowledge. Yeah, it's not a qualification.
Even between refreshers, maybe is worthwhile kind of recapping through the online stuff. But if anybody else has any questions for you, is it all right for them to comment under this video? And
people are more than welcome to add me on Facebook. So it's Rachel Bean, Qualified Veterinary Nurse in brackets. And then my other page, my Canine First Aid page, is Canine First Aid Workshops UK, Rachel Bean. Yeah.
Rachel, I'll add that to the recommended groups link thing on the group, so they've got access to that. So if you send me that link, I'll just add it.
All my dogs on there. I mean, I often share things from the veterinary practices or things, you know, I don't know, I put one on yesterday with a dog with a stick up its nose, and you know, all kinds of things that people find interesting.
Right, okay. Ideal. No, that's what we'll do then. So I'll get this uploaded on, well, it'll be Wednesday when you guys see it. So I'll get that uploaded, and we'll just take it from there. But keep us up to date with everything, because it's so exciting.
Yeah, I will.
Thank you so much for spending some time with me tonight to kind of go through all the questions. But we'll talk to you at some point anyway.
Yeah, I'm my cat as well. Thanks, John.
Bye, Kitty. What's his name? Oh, she's gorgeous.
Jelly Bean.
Oh, look at her eyes. What kind of
about?
And that's your dog's back causing mayhem.
Yeah.
Stunning. Oh. Right, well, I'll leave you to your night anyway, but thank you so much for your time.
No, you're welcome.
All right, take care.
Right.
Bye.
See you later.